hey, another baby came. Great, congratulations. Another baby come. Great, congratulations. How many kids you gonna have? I said, well, the van holds 12. What? They just stared at me.
I'm happy to be joined today by Tony Butler, the father of 8 children. Thank you for joining me, Tony. And so tell me, so when you were first thinking about getting married, were you imagining 8 children?
No, I was just so happy to have a girl who would say yes. That uh, pretty much that was as far as I got. Is this girl said yes, and I'm like, hey, this is great. I
And, and so when you had your first child, how do you think that changed you?
oh catastrophic. So I'll be all over the place, but I'll try to always reel myself in. Of uh, my teenage years were just terrible at best, and my relationship with my dad was, yeah, he was loving, kind, best dad you could ask for. I was just so dumb that I just could never see where he's coming from. And then to your question, when my first child was born, where was I? I was like, I almost like instantly got, oh, now I understand what my dad was doing. It was really kind of that big of a deal. It was that big of a deal to hold my child, um, to really say, I have to really be diligent to my spouse. Oh, I could just really feel a lot more. And again, to the relationship with my dad, I'm like, oh, I owe this guy the apology and really embrace the fatherhood of that.
And when you had your first child, uh, were you thinking, oh, were you thinking about more at that point?
Again, no. I was pretty money hungry. I wanted to. Um, I wanted to reach where my parents were, of a modest house, a nice car, and a good life. So I was just again so happy to have a girl, my wife. I was so happy to be a husband. I was so happy to be a little family that I said this is great, and didn't look that much further down the road.
And so when baby number 2 comes along, did that
Uh,
change things?
no, so baby number two comes, and I thought this is awesome, and it's a girl. Okay, yay! I grew up. I'm number five of six, so I have four sisters and one brother. So not strange. Oh, okay. My first two kids are girls. Yay! And uh, uh, the dad that I am, and always with my children, I'm like, hey, these girls can be just as awesome as boys. This is gonna be great. Yep.
So when you got to 4 children,
Mhm.
what you were thinking. But now,
All right. Now this, I think, is where the podcast will get a little bit more interesting.
yeah.
So, we are cruising along, and the third comes, and it's a little girl, and we're like, yay. And the culture leaned heavily on my spouse, Kelly, of, is that it? Are you done? Okay. Um, Even some very lovely, I think, well-intentioned Catholic moms were like, "Oh, I think that might be it, huh? That's it, huh?" Are you? And uh, Kelly and I were kind of weren't agreeing. We weren't uh, blissfully joyful, and we were having some ups and downs, and we went to this little counselor, and we both said we both like being parents. I don't mind working hard. At this time, we discerned Kelly would be a stay-at-home mom, and I picked up side jobs here and there, and it was going good. But we were just like, why are we not just like next level? And this counselor said, well, look around and who do you admire? And Kelly and I both said, well, we admired her parents, uh, dairy farmers who uh, worked hard and had a modest little place. And we admired my parents, still married after 50 years and raised a family. And it didn't really connect the dots right at that millisecond of the counselor's like, well, what do your parents do that maybe you aren't doing? And we kind of both looked at each other and said, well, my parents go to church all the time. And we're like, oh, I wonder what that is about. So we started going to church. Now, I've never been not against the church or never not for the church. I was just lazy and missed this and active social life. And so we said, okay, do we need to get going back to this church? So we do, and okay, I think this might be a path. At that time, my spouse got in a mother's group at the church, and I think theologically, the mother's group was horrible. But the kindred motherness, they all wanted to be moms, and they all wanted to be some type of Christ centered. And some of the suggestions and some of the leadership there was a little Protestantish kind of.
Because this is 1990s.
Yep. I'm gonna say about 90. Let's see, Kathleen's 90, late 90s. So we're bumbling, fumbling, and I'm gonna get on a little bit of a tangent to tell this whole story. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get on this little bumbling and fumbling, and a relatively new priest comes to this parish and says, moms and dads, if you're in a homily, said that we have to be diligent in birth control and stuff like that. And my wife and I, and he really took some bullets. It was kind of an eye-opening moment. I'm like, oh, I didn't really know what he was talking about. My wife Kelly got it right away. She's like, oh yeah, that can't be a teaching of the church. And if 80%, 90% of the church is doing it, oh, what are we doing? Well, this same young priest invited, this parish had 2,800 registered families, and this priest invited all of an open door to come learn theology of the body. It was new from Pope John Paul,
Yeah.
that was put into a system through Christopher West. And of that 2,800 families, Kelly and I and one other young couple that Kelly met through this mom's group, we went. And we're just these young couple, just raising families. Hi, my name's Tony, and your name, okay. And this young priest, and we just sat in his little rectory. And it was kind of funny because where we sat was a sunroom that had been converted 15 different times. It was just kind of a dumpy little place, and we watched this DVD of Theology on the Body, and that was the lightning rod, the catapult that shot Kelly and I to the next level. And it really was, we just looked at each other and said, I think this is it. I think our culture, our marriage, our siblings, our workforce, this is really important. And we just became best friends, the five of us, Kelly and I and that other couple and this priest, and we just marched forward. Then we got a hold of uh, living that theology of the body, and now the babies started coming more, and it's just exactly what you think of. Um, boy, then we had baby number 5, which was our first boy,
Yeah.
and all the aunts and uncles. Well, now you got your boy now you can be done. And Kelly is so gracious and just so beautiful and would smile and say, well, we're kind of just open to life and we'll see what God's plan is. And I always admired she was so gentle because I wanted to take him in the back room and beat him up. Like, you're not listening to what I have to say. You're not listening. So that was fine. And then another baby come, another boy, and yay. And it was so incredible to see. It just showed a mob mentality of, um, oh, you guys are, this is nuts. You're crazy. Are you being responsible? This is horrible in the group. But then, uh, oh, you guys are very good at this. And I'm so happy for you. One on one.
Hmm.
One on one. They really super admired it as long as no one was listening. Kelly took more of those. She did the heavy lifting on that. I was just the dad part, which I always loved. Then baby number 7, boy, and this is a great story. I have to go in a big circle to tell this one. Kelly went to a little clinic right by our house. The nurse there was a co-worker of mine's sibling.
Yeah.
So every time Kelly went, she would see this coworker sibling. Hey, Mrs. Butler, how you doing? Well, one of the kids have a runny nose, or this or that, and it was incredible. Kelly was such a good mom. They go down for the pregnancy test, and Kelly goes, "I'm pregnant." Well, we have to confirm it. Yep. Yay, Kelly, you're pregnant, number 7. This nurse goes to a family function and tells my coworker, "Hey, guess what? The Butlers are going to have another one." Oh, okay. Well, that Monday, this guy comes to work and in a lunch break room of 40 guys hollers as loud as he can, "Hey, Butler, I heard you're having another one." And this break room just went ham. It was like a, a political party. "Oh, what are you doing? Get a television. Keep your hands off it. Don't you think that's enough? Stop it." It was just a riot. And I just took it. Yeah, whatever. But again, our culture, when it quiets down, I'd say the next couple of weeks, I'd be moving a piece of pipe or something, and the guy would come over and be like, "Hey, I'm really happy for you. I wanted a big family, and Mrs. said no way. That kind of stinks." And then, a week later, I go, "Yeah, I'm one of 10 kids, and I thought I'd have a big family, but I didn't get married till much later, and it just never worked out." So it was really neat. The mob mentality, grab your pitchforks, let's get this guy. But then the one-on-one, I've overwhelmingly been supported.
Oh.
So
What do you think is the hardest thing about having and nurturing children?
yeah, that's a good question because I love all of it. I love all of it. One of the hardest things for me is supporting my wife on my children's ups and downs. How my children's ups and downs target her, and though I want to be loving and supporting of them, I have to really be loving, supporting of her. So that the hardest part is supporting um, Mrs. on that. The children themselves, um, there's a great diocese priest I just so admired. He goes, "Children are emotional black holes." And I've quoted that to my wife, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, that's a statement," because they really are. I didn't realize how much energy and love you pour into them, and they're like, "Yeah, thanks." Thanks. What's that famous song? Yeah, thanks. Can I have the keys to the car? So, uh, I'm odd, and I know I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed because I don't get too worked up about my children's shortcomings or how the mixed mistakes they made. I can shrug and say, so far, all of my children, all 8 of my children, have not made mistakes as big as me. So I'm very grateful for that.
Now you've got your oldest is what, 30,
31,
and your youngest is 12.
13. So
13.
there's 17 years between the oldest and youngest.
And
Yep.
just like me, my oldest
Neat.
sibling is 18 years older.
Sure.
But how is that when you're now
59.
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And you've got a child going into 8th grade or
Yeah.
7th or 8th grade.
Yep.
My nephew Marco calls that the caboose baby.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
And then you've also got grandchildren.
Yep.
About the same age.
Right. They fit right. They fit right. They fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of neat. One thing. So I have to roundabout too, and always cut me off if I talk too much. One thing that Kelly and I worked really hard on. We didn't want our children. Hey, we're going to be pro. Kelly and I are pro-life. That doesn't mean our children are pro-life. We don't know what they're going to be. But I don't want to hear my children when they're 50 years old say, I had to help raise my children, my siblings.
Yeah.
You hear that, and I don't even think that's accurate. Sometimes I think it's just a cop-out. So that's one thing that Kelly and I always kept in front of us. And it's really rewarding because I think we did an okay job with that. So with Marco's thought of a caboose, I really like that because I just love, I pull my faith into as much as I can in our youngest, Sean. I said, Sean, you got it made. You're the youngest, and God knew all along to put you at the end. So that's God's plan. Well, this and that and this and that. Bridget the oldest will come home, and this youngest will be in the living room eating a bag of Doritos. And the oldest will be like, what? What? He's eating Doritos in the living room? I could have never did that. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You probably couldn't have. But that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So,
There's advantages to being the youngest.
yes. With that, see, and I don't even consider 8 children a big family. I think it is culturally today, but there's many people our age that are 8, 10, 7, it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
So one of the middle children went to a job interview and, hello, and tell us about yourself, this and this. And she goes, yeah, I'm the youngest. She goes, I'm the third. I have 3 older sisters. Oh, okay, so you're the youngest? And she goes, no, I have 4 younger brothers. And the interviewer's like, okay, when do you want to start? It was, okay, you know what the social circles are. You know how it's going to work. You're right in the middle. I bet you can handle anything. And that particular child, that she can handle anything.
I know her,
Yeah.
And as far as the effort of keeping everything together, was there a point where the having the older kids kind of shouldered some of the load, or?
Yeah, I'm so fortunate. I'm so blessed. And I've always said Kelly did a lot of the heavy lifting. And how she would organize things, laundry baskets, so it just made it easier because I could come home and kind of be the heavy. Okay, mom's done this. Now where's your part in this? So, no, we really did teamwork. We used to kind of fist pump at night, and we have to do good cop, bad cop. And so to answer your question, no, I don't really have any drudgery or burdened down by that. Um, I just smiled and really enjoyed it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I guess a flip side of what was the hardest thing about having many children, what do you think is the best thing?
children.
Pride. I am so proud. I am so proud of my family. We would go to the cathedral and with intentional effort of our children dressed nice, intentional effort of Kelly said you need to be obedient in church, and yeah, it was just super rewarding. Um, uh, my wife and I were in a Marian movement, and they'd always have this little festival. I handed two girls two power tools and said, "Okay, want you." It was actually three girls. One girl, I want you to stripe a line here, and the other girl, I want you to cut that line, and the other girl, I want you to screw that in there. And one of the sisters was kind of like, Mr. Butler, should they be running power tools? What if they cut their finger off? And I got in big trouble. Mr. Butler, what if they cut their finger off? And I said, well, they'll only do it once. I thought, I shouldn't have said that. And it worked out to where these girls were responsible because of hands-on, and they did just what I asked. So yeah, it's little stories of those. Kelly and I did the sweat equity of let's teach as a team, let's teach as mom and dad are the boss, and we're all on the same mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to think of some other highlights. There's some sporting events where the children did well, which were highlights, and very proud of them. One of my boys started dating a girl, and this girl, what are you guys doing this weekend? Oh, we're going to a wedding. And this girl literally said to him in high school 4 or 5 years ago, I've never been to a wedding. And my boy goes, I've been to 100 weddings. It's the best. You go to a wedding, you can dance, and you can get as much Pepsi and Mountain Dew as you want. And so, yeah, it's little things like that of Kelly and I had a nice foundation to where it granted our children a lot of freedom for that. So,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know, can you think of any ways you've experienced God supporting and helping you with these
In your journey here?
Yep. So we've cruised along, and we have never had money. We've always, our whole lives have been paycheck to paycheck. I am standing in front of my work, and I have $22 on me. But I know I only have $2 because that $20 bill has to go to a school for the boy who's going to go on a field trip or a sporting event, and he has to have that 20. So I know I only have $2 on me. And I was trying to be a reflective of God's image, and this homeless mother is pushing a baby carriage with a baby in it, and it has all the bags on it, and I'm like, oh, this is brutal. And I want to just be encouraging. So I go out to say, hey, oh, is your baby beautiful? Yep. And I go out there and I say, oh, is that a baby girl or baby boy? And this homeless mom says, she used profanity. I'm not going to. My baby just pooped all over itself. It's a mess, and the gas station won't let me get paper towels. And I'm so Christ-like. My first thought was, I'm not giving you my $20. And I thought, oh, Lord, yep. I just wanted to encourage her. So what did I do? I went to my pocket. I said, here, will this help you? And I gave her that $20. And then later that day, um, some other benefactor at the school said, "Oh, we got that. We took care of that for your kid."
Wow.
So it was in one hand and out the other. Another incident was uh, a great benefactor out of the blue. Um, we had I do all the auto maintenance myself, and we kind of joke. It's true. It's kind of true, but it's kind of a joke too. Is all of the Butler's cars are other people's junk. Hey, I have this piece of junk in my driveway. You want it? Yeah, it's nicer than what I'm driving. So we fix them up.
Yeah.
And I got this car, which wasn't a piece of junk, but it didn't have the transmission went out. But it was a nice car. And I thought, okay, I'm actually gonna have to go borrow money to get a transmission for it. And I go to church, and this lady handed me a check, and she goes, "I was really praying, and I was gonna get a new car, but I thought, I bet the Butlers could use this." I didn't tell this lady this. The transmission was $4,100, and she wrote me a check for $4,000. So I paid $100 for this really nice car. Now we got a new transmission in it. We've been driving it ever since. So I have to check myself, because on this hand, I say, "Oh, I just gotta work harder. I gotta fulfill my household responsibilities. I want to be diligent here. I want to be ahead." And on this side, I'm like, I do want to trust in God. There's a priest on Relevant Radio who says, if you're open to life, and it's biblical, if you're open to life, you will not perish. God will provide for you. And I wrestle with that. I know He will. I know He will. But I still am the manly Neanderthal, so I still got to pick myself up by my boots, and I still want to do my part. So if I had a little bit more courageous, I could really surrender to God's gifts. But I value them when they come. I wish I had more trust in many more of them, but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. What would you say to a
Young father who was saying, I'm just getting by with 2 kids. How am I ever going to...
Yeah.
afford more?
Yep. I was thinking about that. Let's circle back to, I want to talk more about young fathers, but in that particular one right there. So now our newest, how do you say it? The newest assassination, Charlie Kirk. In my garage, which my kids are always welcome. There's a billboard that says cuss words that are allowed, and they're all, none of them swear, but they're all fudge nickel and all those stupid ones. And Blessed Mother's there, and the crucifix there, and there's some old dirt bike pictures of me there, and fun stuff like that. And if my kids do drawings, I pin those up there. Well, I haven't did it yet, but my newest quote is going to be from Charlie Kirk. He said in one of his talks, when he went to young campuses, he told young men, have more children than you can afford. And I thought, I'm living that. I live that. I've been living that for 30 years. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's circle back to your advice for young fathers.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, thank you. All right. Pointed out to me by my wife, and since she pointed it out, I've now just been fingers on a chalkboard. If we look at commuting traffic, all of these dads sitting in the passenger seat on their phones while moms drive. I find it so discouraging. So discouraging. So if I'm asked, if a young dad came up to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Butler, I like your family. I like what you've done. What can I do?" I'm going to tell you, I want you to be last on everything. I want you to be the last one to eat. I want you to be the last one to go to bed. I want you to make sure the garbage is out. I want you to drive. And if your spouse says, I don't like you drive too fast. Then drive slower. I don't like you driving because you yell or curse at other traffic in your way. Then stop cursing at traffic. Do what Mrs. says. Um, I think the undercurrent on that is sending a message that I don't think is healthy, and I can't really base it on anything. I don't. It's just a feeling of um, young dads. I think are under such a microscope of they can't do anything right. They're bumbling, fumbling idiots, and yet the ones that I know work hard. They want to get ahead. They seem to make good purchases. So I'm kind of talking in circles of they have to be manly, masculine, and they have to put their wife on a pedestal, not in the reverence of Mother Mary, in the reverence of God's great creation, not in what our culture would say, oh, you're just whipped. You just do whatever she says. You have no voice. Kind of, really, kind of in um, do what she says. If it's teamwork, you're going to want to do what she says. That's what I have found. The teamwork is uh, co-mission, not submission. It's co-mission of we're going to co. I've heard that term from some of my older children, co-parenting. I don't know what therapist came up with that, but it's some days you're all parent and some days Mrs. is all parent. But you got to come together. So that's what I kind of lost my train of thought, but that's what I wanted to tell young men of you have to be last and for the right reasons, be last for the right reasons, and love your mother, the mother of your children, even when it's really difficult. Sometimes it's really difficult. You love them. Um, Look around. Um, we have a very close priest friend of ours. Well, this kind of stunned me when he said, "I would rather somebody come in my office and say, 'Father, I have cancer,' than someone come in my office and say, 'Father, I'm getting divorced.'" And that hit home with in our household, and it is very very hard. We're super supportive, um, but when I tell young men, it's kind of neat. The theology body always rears its head in my work conversations. In somebody will be fussing about their spouse or not getting their way or something, and I just point blank tell them, "Do you know how far ahead you are that it's a husband and wife in the same house? Your kids come home to a mom and a dad. Even if you guys aren't singing, whistling Dixie, they still come home. Your children are half as better off than most people." And I've heard some compliments of, "Oh, yeah, yeah, thanks," or, "Yeah, I needed to hear that." And I've gotten a lot of blank stares. "I still can't stand her." And I'm like, come on. So, yeah.
And so I guess looking back, if you were doing it all over, is there something that you would do different?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I would, yes. So I would clearly be a better steward of my money. Would we be where we're at without my bumbles and fumbles? Maybe, maybe not. Kelly and I were so gracious of um, divine intervention. We got that through a Bible study, and said to a priest, "I'm so lucky to have Kelly." And he goes, "Luck? No, no such thing as luck. It's all divine." And I've really grappled, really wrestled with that, and it really is of Um, the house that we live in is divine providence. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, to answer you, no, because I don't think I would change anything because I know I would screw it up. I know I'd make a bad decision. Hey, Tony, do you want to buy ground level Microsoft or Apple? No, I don't like apples. No, I don't need that. I'm going to buy new tires for my car instead, you know. So I wouldn't change any of that. I think I would try to tell myself to be a better steward with money. And then that would be about it.
Now, you've mentioned to me some stories about your big white van.
Yep. A great friend of mine calls the big Ford Econoline van. He calls them Catholic assault vehicles. And when we were downtown at the cathedral, it kind of looked like the state parking. You know, there was just all these big white vans, and I loved it. I genuinely loved it. Yeah. So I'll have to see if one of the Butler children write a little memoir of the big white van. Uh, we get this. So happy mistake. We're in a minivan, and I think it's baby number 4 is due. Like, we go to drive this van, and Mrs. is really, really pregnant, and we don't buy it at the time. And okay, I'm gonna think about it, Mr. Salesman. And we go home. Well, then a day, then labor, then we're a couple days, and this salesman calls me and goes, "I've been holding this van for you." And I said, "I don't think we can afford it right now." "Well, what's it gonna take?" And that whole shtick. And he dropped the price quite a bit. And I said, "Great, we'll take it." So we got this big white van. Only had like 8,000 miles on it. I thought, this is paradise.
14 passenger?
12.
12,
12
okay.
passengers. Yep. Yep. And I have, I'm going to kind of bounce all over the place, go forward, middle, back. First thing I did, as a matter of fact, on the way home from picking it up, I pulled into a big box store and I bought a carpet. And I took all of the seats out and I trimmed out each piece, and then I put the seats back in so the carpet from the factory would stay nice, because I knew that carpet was not going to stay nice, and it didn't. But so we got home. One of the older girls, this is where I'll bounce all over the place with the big white van. One of the older girls, very close friend, was an only child. And every now and then that only child would do something with us. And we're like, all right, let's go, get in the van. And the oldest daughter would be just trudgery. Get in this van, there's 3 car seats in here. Somebody left an apple core or something. And the only child would get in it and be like, "This is like a limo. You have your own limo." And my oldest daughter was like, "You don't know what you're talking about." Okay, that would be that. And then another good big white van story is it was so nice because Mrs. could get up and attend to a fussy baby or adjust a car seat. You know, we didn't have to really pull over for that because it was you could pivot and do that.
Yeah.
The downside of that was, as a child, you did not want to have to sit between Mrs. Butler and I. That means something bad happened in the back. And you know, I can see in the rearview mirror, and I'm looking, and I can see something escalating, and I said, "Okay, it escalated. That's it. You up here," and then you could just watch him trudging. Oh man! I mean, what is it? It's 6.5 feet.
Yeah.
It's just like the walk of death. Sit down right here. Da, 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 da. And then the children would do the faces and all that fun stuff. You get in trouble. Yep. So that's that. Trying to think of other big white van stories.
Yeah, like your coworkers asking you how many kids you're gonna have.
Yeah. That would be the other one. Yep. Hey, another baby came. Great, congratulations. Another baby come. Great, congratulations. How many kids you gonna have? I said, "Well, the van holds 12. What? They just stare at me. No, that van we put 250,000 miles on that van. A couple of the kids went and got their driver's test in that
Wow.
van. Yep, yeah. Um, our kids went to this most wonderful Catholic school, and we had not March for Life, but 40 Days for Life, and this was breaking. I think they broke at least 10 rules. At least 10 rules of, hey, can we go over to 40 Days for Life and say the Rosary during lunch? And I don't know what happened, but they're like, yeah, you can go. So my one daughter drove 7 to 8, 10 kids in this van, you know. She didn't have her GDL. She just had her driver's license. And, you know, none of them probably had seatbelts on. And it's just, I'm thinking, that is wonderful. You can break the rules for that. You can, okay, if you get caught, you have to be responsible for the consequence. But I like that you broke the rules to go do that out for 40 Days for Life. So that big white van was awesome. I think on several different occasions, Mrs. Butler's been asked, do you run a daycare? Nope, they're all mine, she'd say. Yeah, all those fun things. If I think of more, I'll interject, but yeah.
All right.
A lot of young men are probably thinking, well, you know, I'll get established in my job before I think about getting married.
Yeah.
But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's kind of neat of, I really am, I'm so blessed. I have a really good relationship with my family, my siblings, my nieces and nephews. We're really very tight. We're pretty picturesque. We have ups and downs, but it's pretty wonderful. So my nephews, who I would always take with me on all my adventures of dirt bike riding and four-wheeling and fun stuff like that, and then they got older and they got married and they had kids, and it's kind of neat because they were at a Christmas party, and I said to my one nephew, I said, it's a beautiful baby, and I bet you're joyful, and I have a question for you. Your baby was born, and then you look at your spouse and you're like, man, I just love you even more now. Yeah, I did. That's good insight, Uncle Tony. I said, so you love your wife more now after the baby? Yeah. I said, so in theory, I love my wife 8 times more than you do. And you could just see the eyeballs going. And I do kind of try to pull that out of young men of, it's really something beautiful. And if you have no barriers, and if you want to trust in God's plan, my wife and I can be a living example of, it's not easy, but it's worth it. I attest to it is so worth it. So
Beautiful.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Tony.
You're very welcome. What a joy.
I'm going to like to play a song for you now
Okay. Yes.
about a big white van. We go to church to pray. Mama takes us out to play. We go to school each day in a big white van. Little brother sits in back, sister's knitting's on her lap. Papa's looking at the map in a big white van. If there's a game we can field a team, a band of brothers is what I mean. That's the kind of life we're seeing in a big white van. Some days we're glum, we're feeling low. Papa loads us up and away we go. Where we'll wind up you never know, in a big white van. Go to Grandma's Sunday afternoon. On the way we sing a happy tune. I hope that I'll be driving soon white van. The little ones are snug and buckled tight. Their heads are nodding, I think they might be fast asleep when we pull in tonight in a big white van. Mama's expecting soon there'll be a change in what we're doing, but we've got lots of room in a big white van.
Oh, that is heartwarming. Oh, I can't wait for Kelly to hear that. Oh, that is, yep.